All right, let's be honest. We're going to talk about a threat that, for most of us, is just background noise right up until it's not. It's one of those things that doesn't feel real at all until it hits you personally. And by then, well, the damage is often already done.
And that's the thing, right? This isn't some scene from a movie with some hacker in a dark room. No way. It all starts with something that looks, well, totally harmless. You know, a weird message, a leaked screenshot, maybe even a strange phone call. It kicks off right in the middle of our everyday lives.
So let's get one thing straight. This isn't just some abstract internet problem that's happening somewhere out there in the cloud. Nope. These are real crimes with very real and honestly very damaging consequences for people just like you and just like me.
And just take a look at the scope of this. I mean, it's not just one single thing we're talking about. It can be something incredibly personal, like online harassment or even blackmail. Or it can be total financial devastation from identity theft. And then there's the big one, ransomware, where your entire digital life is literally held hostage. The landscape here is just incredibly wide, and frankly, it's dangerous.
And this all leads to a hard truth. You know, when we're faced with something like this, most people have one of two reactions. You either ignore it and just hope it'll disappear, or you totally panic. The thing is, both of those reactions are exactly what the criminals are hoping for. So, how do these reactions actually play out in the real world? Let's dive into the 3 biggest mistakes that victims make, often without even knowing that they're basically helping the criminals.
Okay, first up, staying silent. Fear, shame, these are powerful tools for a criminal, and your silence is exactly what lets him keep going, totally unchecked. The second big mistake, confronting the attacker yourself. I get it, it might feel good for a second, but that can make things so much worse and even lead to them deleting crucial evidence. And number 3, taking advice from just anywhere. Look, your friends and family mean well, but the wrong advice can absolutely tank your legal case before it even starts.
So here's the most important takeaway. You don't handle cybercrime with emotion, you handle it with strategy. That very first move you make, it can literally decide how this whole thing ends.
And let's really spell out the difference. On one side, you've got that emotional reaction, panic, fear, confronting them, which, let's be real, almost always ends with destroyed evidence and a much weaker case. But on the other side, you have a calm legal strategy. And what does that mean? It means preserving evidence, following the right steps, protecting your rights. That's the path that leads to a strong case, and, this is the most important part, it keeps you safe. You see, tackling this stuff correctly takes a really unique mix of skills. It's not just a tech problem that an IT person can fix. And it's more than just a standard complaint you file with the police. You really need someone who gets the complicated overlap of law, technology, and human behavior. It's a rare combination for sure, but it's absolutely essential. And that's exactly where having a specialized legal shield becomes so incredibly important. You have firms out there, like Bridge LLP for example, that have built their entire practice around tackling these very specific challenges. They provide the kind of expert guidance you desperately need in these situations. You know, a good way to gauge a firm's expertise is to look at the sheer range of cases they handle. We're talking about the whole spectrum, from online stalking and digital blackmail, all the way to complex data breaches, and even cases that cross international borders. That kind of broad experience is absolutely crucial for finding your way through this stuff. But at the end of the day, what's this all really about? It's not just about filing the right paperwork or getting the technical details right. The real mission here is about protecting people. People who are going through something incredibly overwhelming and scary. It's about helping them get their safety and their peace of mind back.
So, what makes a firm different? What should you look for? Well, there are a few key things. Speed is one, because time is always ticking in these cases. Strict, rock-solid confidentiality is another. That's non-negotiable for victims. And of course, a deep, real understanding of how both the law and the digital world actually work.
And here's something else to remember. Cybercrime doesn't have a passport. It knows no borders. So the expertise you need shouldn't have any either. The right team has to be ready to handle international cases because the threat could be coming from down the street or from the other side of the planet.
Okay, let's bring this all home and focus on the single most important step you can take. It all comes down to making that first call to safety, that first move toward taking back control of your digital life.
So if you find yourself in this situation, let's be absolutely clear on what not to do. Do not stay silent. Do not try to negotiate with them. Do not delay getting help. And for goodness sake, do not just guess what to do next. Guessing is probably the most dangerous thing you can do.
Which really just leaves us with one final critical question, doesn't it? When it feels like everything is on the line, when your digital life is under attack, what is the right first move?
The answer is, you make a strategic move. Your very first call should be to a proven expert, someone like the team at Bridge LLP. Because look, in this fight against cybercrime, getting the right legal advice at the right time, it does more than just win a case. It protects your dignity, it protects your reputation, and it protects your peace of mind.